Good morning, everyone. Today, I want to share 5 simple habits that can help you feel better every day. Habits rooted in the idea that we can control our minds, our actions, and how we respond to life. Focus only on what you can control. This simple idea is one of the most powerful tools you can use to live a calmer, more peaceful life. Many of our struggles come not from the events themselves, but from how we react to them. When we waste energy worrying about things beyond our influence, we create unnecessary stress and frustration. The weather, the actions of other people, accidents, and unexpected events are all outside our control. If we try to control them, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Instead, we can turn our attention to what is truly within our power: our thoughts, our choices, and our actions. Every morning, remind yourself that you cannot control what will happen, but you can control how you respond. When faced with a difficult situation, ask yourself, what part of this is mine to change? What part is not? By separating what you can influence from what you cannot, you can save energy and focus on constructive action. This does not mean you ignore problems or stop caring. It means you approach challenges with clarity and calm, knowing where your efforts will make a difference. When someone is rude or unfair, for example, you cannot control their behavior, but you can control your reaction. You can choose to respond calmly, to remain polite, or to remove yourself from the situation if necessary. Anger, resentment, or frustration are natural, but they are choices you make, not obligations. When you let yourself react without control, you give your power to external events. By focusing on your own thoughts and actions, you reclaim that power. Similarly, in daily life, small inconveniences, traffic, long lines, mistakes by others, often disturb our peace more than the events themselves deserve. Each time you feel frustration rising, remind yourself, this is not mine to control. My response is mine. You can take a deep breath, adjust your attitude, and continue with calm. Over time, this habit reduces stress, increases patience, and makes you more resilient. Another area where this principle applies is in your personal goals and ambitions. You may desire success, recognition, or approval, but you cannot control the opinions of others or outcomes of every effort. You can, however, control the quality of your work, the effort you put in, and the integrity with which you act. By focusing on these controllable aspects, you maximize your effectiveness without being weighed down by fear or anxiety about results. It is also helpful to practice mental exercises that reinforce this mindset. When you notice worry or frustration about something outside your control, pause and label it as beyond my power. Shift your focus immediately to what you can do, however small, to improve the situation or maintain your inner calm. Over time, your mind becomes trained to see challenges more clearly, distinguishing between what matters and what does not. This clarity allows you to act decisively and peacefully. Living this way does not make life predictable or easy, but it makes it manageable. You will face the same problems, setbacks, and difficulties as everyone else, but your experience of them changes. When you let go of what you cannot control, you preserve your energy for action, growth, and understanding. This habit, practiced daily, builds strength of character and a sense of freedom that comes from knowing you are in charge of your mind, even when the world is not in your control. Practice daily gratitude. Gratitude is a simple habit, yet it has the power to transform how we experience life. Too often, we focus on what is missing, what went wrong, or what we wish were different. This constant attention to lack creates dissatisfaction and restlessness. By practicing gratitude every day, we shift our focus from absence to presence, from complaint to appreciation. Each morning, take a moment to notice the things you already have: your health, your home, your family or friends, even the ability to breathe, walk, or see. These small things, often taken for granted, are the foundation of a life well lived. Gratitude is not about ignoring challenges or pretending that life is perfect. It is about seeing clearly the good that already exists alongside the difficulties. Even in hardship, there are things to appreciate: lessons learned, moments of kindness, opportunities to grow, or simply the strength to continue. By recognizing these, we strengthen our minds and hearts, making them less vulnerable to negativity. One simple method is to create a mental list each day of 3 things you are grateful for. These do not need to be extraordinary. They can be small, ordinary moments. Perhaps it was a smile from a stranger, a meal that nourished you, or a moment of quiet when you could think clearly. Focusing on these details trains your mind to notice positivity, instead of constantly seeking what is missing. Gratitude also shifts our perspective in our relationships. When we appreciate others, family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers, we create stronger bonds and a sense of connection. Recognizing the effort, kindness, or presence of another person fosters respect and patience, reducing frustration and conflict. Practicing gratitude can also help when facing challenges or setbacks. When something goes wrong, it is easy to become consumed by anger or regret. Taking a step back to acknowledge what still remains, your abilities, your choices, your support system, provides stability and calm. Gratitude becomes a lens through which you view difficulties not as disasters, but as opportunities to recognize what is valuable and enduring. Another way to practice gratitude is to reflect on the impermanence of life. Everything is temporary: possessions, experiences, and even the people we love. When we remember this, we see that what we have now is precious. Gratitude grows naturally when we appreciate that nothing lasts forever, encouraging us to value the present rather than waiting for a future moment to feel content. Writing down what you are grateful for each day is a practical tool. It reinforces the habit, allows reflection, and serves as a reminder in difficult times. Some days may feel challenging, and it may seem hard to find things to appreciate. These are the moments when gratitude matters most, because it trains the mind to seek light in darkness. Over time, this practice changes the way you experience the world. You become less dependent on external circumstances for happiness and more aware of the richness already present in your life. Gratitude strengthens patience, reduces envy, and cultivates a sense of peace. It becomes an internal source of strength, available at any moment, independent of fortune or misfortune. By making gratitude a daily practice, you gradually train your mind to notice abundance rather than lack, to see the positive alongside the negative, and to live with a sense of contentment rooted in awareness and presence. This habit, practiced consistently, encourages humility, joy, and resilience, creating a foundation for a calmer, more centered life. Accept discomfort and challenges. Life is filled with difficulties, setbacks, and moments that test our patience and strength. Pain, frustration, loss, and uncertainty are part of the human experience, and trying to avoid them entirely leads to greater suffering. The key is not to eliminate discomfort, but to face it with courage, calm, and understanding. When we accept that discomfort is natural, we stop fighting against reality and start using our energy in more productive ways. Every day presents small challenges: an unexpected delay, criticism, a task that feels overwhelming, or even physical discomfort. Instead of resisting or complaining, we can remind ourselves that these moments are opportunities to practice endurance and resilience. They teach us to control our reactions and to act with wisdom rather than emotion. Facing discomfort intentionally also strengthens our mind and body. When we willingly experience minor hardships, such as waking early, exercising, or stepping outside of our comfort zones, we prepare ourselves for larger challenges that inevitably arise. By accepting temporary discomfort, we build a reserve of strength that allows us to handle bigger problems with composure. Another aspect of this practice is understanding the difference between harm and difficulty. Difficult situations are not necessarily harmful. They are often tests or lessons that help us grow. Pain, loss, or criticism can be uncomfortable, but they do not have to destroy our peace. Our suffering comes not from the events themselves, but from how we interpret and respond to them. When we accept discomfort as part of life, we reduce unnecessary suffering caused by resistance, fear, or avoidance. This mindset also changes our expectations. We stop expecting life to be smooth or easy, and instead prepare ourselves to navigate it with clarity and patience. When difficulties arise, we are less surprised, less frustrated, and more capable of responding effectively. This does not mean we do not seek improvement or solutions. Acceptance is not passive resignation. It is a recognition of reality and a conscious choice to act wisely within it. For example, when faced with criticism or failure, we can accept our initial feelings of discomfort, but then focus on what we can learn and how we can improve. By doing this, the challenge becomes a tool for growth rather than a source of despair. Accepting discomfort also fosters gratitude and appreciation for moments of ease and joy. When we acknowledge that life includes hardship, we notice and value times of comfort, connection, and success more deeply. This awareness increases resilience and balance in our daily lives. Another practical approach is to prepare mentally for challenges before they occur. Anticipate that difficulties will happen, and imagine how you will respond calmly and thoughtfully. This mental rehearsal reduces fear and panic when discomfort arrives, allowing you to maintain focus and composure. Over time, facing discomfort intentionally and accepting challenges becomes a habit. The mind becomes more flexible, less reactive, and more capable of sustaining inner calm under pressure. We learn that external events cannot control our happiness, only our responses can. This habit builds a quiet strength that supports every aspect of life, from personal growth to relationships to work. By embracing discomfort and challenges, we transform obstacles into opportunities, weakness into resilience, and uncertainty into a chance to practice patience, courage, and wisdom. Pause before speaking or acting. Much of the unnecessary suffering in life comes from impulsive words and hasty actions. We often react without thinking, driven by anger, fear, or desire, and later regret what we have said or done. By learning to pause, even for a brief moment, we give ourselves the chance to act with intention rather than emotion. Every interaction, every decision, and every response is an opportunity to practice this habit. When someone criticizes or insults us, the natural reaction is to defend, argue, or retaliate. But a pause allows us to consider our options. We can ask ourselves, is this response helpful? Is it true? Is it necessary? Often the pause reveals that silence, calm explanation, or simply letting go is the wiser choice. Speaking and acting with purpose requires awareness. We must notice when our emotions are rising and give ourselves space to respond thoughtfully. This does not mean suppressing feelings, but rather choosing how to express them in a way that aligns with our values and long-term goals. Impulsive actions are rarely effective. They can damage relationships, create conflict, or lead to mistakes. By pausing, we prevent unnecessary harm and maintain our dignity. Even in small daily matters, the pause is valuable. A rushed response to a question, a quick judgment of someone, or a hasty decision at work can have consequences that ripple far beyond the moment. By practicing intentional pauses, we improve our decision-making, communication, and overall quality of life. Another important aspect is self-reflection. Pausing allows us to examine our motives. Are we acting out of anger, pride, fear, or convenience? When we recognize the true cause behind our impulses, we gain the ability to redirect them toward constructive action. This habit also strengthens patience. Life often tests us with delays, misunderstandings, or repeated challenges. Pausing before reacting helps us remain composed and respond with reason rather than frustration. Over time, this builds resilience and inner calm. Additionally, pausing before acting helps us prioritize what truly matters. Not every problem deserves a reaction, and not every opinion needs to be voiced. By considering the long-term impact of our words and actions, we focus on what is meaningful and avoid wasting energy on trivial matters. Practically, this pause can be as simple as taking a deep breath, counting to 3, or silently asking, what is the best way to respond here? These small moments create a space between stimulus and response, giving our mind the chance to act wisely. The habit of pausing is not only about avoiding negative outcomes, it also allows us to engage more fully with positive ones. Thoughtful words can inspire, comfort, or teach, and deliberate actions can solve problems effectively. By acting with purpose, we make a positive difference in our lives and the lives of others. Over time, this practice becomes natural. The mind becomes calmer, the heart steadier, and our relationships more harmonious. We learn that controlling our impulses is a source of freedom and strength, allowing us to navigate life with clarity, dignity, and integrity. The pause transforms ordinary moments into opportunities for wisdom, turning reactive patterns into deliberate, meaningful choices that shape a life guided by thoughtfulness rather than haste. Reflect on your actions each day. Daily reflection is a powerful habit that allows us to understand ourselves more clearly and grow steadily. Life moves quickly, and without taking time to pause and examine our behavior, we can easily repeat mistakes, act on impulse, or lose sight of what truly matters. By reflecting, we become aware of how we respond to challenges, how we treat others, and whether our actions align with our values. Reflection is not about judgment or self-criticism. It is about honest observation and learning. At the end of each day, take a few quiet moments to review what happened. Consider the choices you made, the words you spoke, and the actions you took. Ask yourself, did I act wisely? Did I respond with patience? Did I focus on what I could control? Even small missteps are valuable teachers when we observe them carefully. This habit encourages responsibility. When we reflect daily, we take ownership of our thoughts and actions instead of blaming external circumstances. We notice patterns in our behavior, recognize areas for improvement, and celebrate moments when we acted with calm, courage, or kindness. Reflection also strengthens self-discipline. Life is full of distractions and temptations that can pull us off course. By looking back at each day, we can see where we allowed impulses to guide us and where we stayed true to our principles. This awareness helps us make better choices in the future. Another aspect of reflection is gratitude. While examining our actions, we can also recognize what went well, the help we received from others, and the progress we made. By acknowledging these positives, we balance criticism with appreciation, building confidence and motivation. Reflection can be simple. Writing in a journal, silently reviewing the day, or even discussing experiences with a trusted friend can all serve this purpose. The key is consistency and honesty. Over time, these small daily practices accumulate, creating a deeper understanding of ourselves and our place in the world. Reflection also prepares us for challenges ahead. By examining how we handled difficulties, we can identify strategies that worked and recognize where we need to improve. This foresight reduces anxiety and strengthens resilience, as we approach each new day with lessons already learned. In relationships, reflection improves understanding and empathy. By considering our interactions with others, we see where we may have caused harm, overlooked kindness, or failed to listen. This awareness allows us to act more thoughtfully and strengthen connections in the future. Daily reflection also helps us stay aligned with our goals and values. It is easy to drift into habits, routines, or reactions that do not serve us. Taking time to reflect brings attention back to what is important, reminding us of the principles we want to live by. Another benefit is mental clarity. Reflecting allows us to process experiences, release unnecessary worry, and approach life with a calmer mind. It helps distinguish between what matters and what is trivial, enabling better focus and decision-making. This practice of looking back, learning, and adjusting is not a one-time effort but a lifelong habit. It transforms everyday experiences into tools for growth, strengthens self-awareness, and cultivates wisdom. By reflecting on our actions daily, we create a continuous cycle of learning, understanding, and improvement that guides us toward a more intentional, balanced, and meaningful life. Let go of anger and resentment. Holding on to anger and resentment is like carrying a heavy weight that slows you down and clouds your mind. When we dwell on past wrongs or focus on the mistakes of others, we give power to events that are already gone. We allow external circumstances to disturb our inner peace. Letting go does not mean ignoring injustice or pretending harm did not occur. It means choosing not to let anger control your thoughts, actions, or happiness. Anger often arises when we feel offended, disrespected, or treated unfairly. It is a natural emotion, but when we hold on to it, it grows and shapes our behavior. Resentment can quietly influence decisions, relationships, and even health. By recognizing anger as a choice rather than a necessity, we reclaim control over our own minds. One effective approach is to pause when anger arises. Observe it without immediately reacting. Ask yourself, will acting on this anger improve the situation, or will it only harm me and others? Often, the answer is clear. Holding on to anger rarely brings positive results. Choosing to release it creates space for reason, understanding, and calm. Another important aspect is perspective. Most of the things that make us angry are temporary, minor, or unimportant in the larger picture of life. Others may act out of ignorance, weakness, or their own struggles. Understanding this helps reduce the intensity of anger and allows compassion to take its place. Forgiveness is not always for the other person, it is for your own peace of mind. Holding on to resentment ties you to the past and prevents growth. When you forgive or let go, you free yourself to focus on the present and make better choices. Self-reflection is also key. Ask yourself why a particular action or word triggered anger. Often, anger reveals expectations, pride, or attachment to outcomes. By understanding these triggers, you gain insight into your own mind and learn to respond with greater wisdom. Practicing gratitude and focusing on positive aspects of life can help diminish anger. When attention shifts from what went wrong to what is good, resentment naturally weakens. Small daily exercises, like writing down 3 positive experiences or reflecting on moments of kindness, can gradually reduce the power of anger in your life. Physical techniques, such as deep breathing, walking, or simple movement, can also help calm the body when anger rises, making it easier to let go. Holding on to resentment can harm relationships, work, and overall well-being. When we respond to anger with more anger, conflicts escalate. By releasing resentment, we create space for understanding, dialogue, and cooperation. Letting go does not make you weak, it shows strength. It is a conscious choice to prioritize peace, clarity, and long-term well-being over short-term emotional satisfaction. Over time, this habit builds emotional resilience. Situations that once triggered strong anger are met with calm observation and thoughtful response. You learn to face challenges without losing balance, to act without being driven by negativity, and to maintain control over your own happiness. Letting go of anger and resentment is not a one-time event, but a daily practice. Each time you choose peace over bitterness, you strengthen your mind and protect your heart from unnecessary suffering. By consistently releasing anger, you cultivate a life of clarity, freedom, and inner strength, where your energy is spent on constructive actions rather than on carrying the heavy weight of past grievances. Live according to your values, life becomes meaningful when your actions reflect what you truly believe is right and important. Too often, people act on impulse, follow the crowd, or chase rewards that do not align with their principles. This leads to inner conflict, regret, and dissatisfaction. By consciously choosing to live in accordance with your values, you create consistency between your thoughts, words, and actions. Values serve as a guide in every decision, large or small. They help determine what is worth pursuing, what deserves your energy, and what can be ignored. When you face a difficult choice, ask yourself, which option aligns with who I want to be? This question brings clarity and reduces confusion, fear, and doubt. Living according to values also builds integrity. Integrity is not a trait you simply have, it is a result of consistently acting in line with your principles. Each choice you make either strengthens or weakens your integrity. Over time, acting against your values creates inner tension, while acting with them builds confidence, peace, and self-respect. Another important aspect is courage. Following your values is not always easy. It may require saying no, standing alone, or facing criticism. But the strength to act according to what is right, rather than what is convenient or popular, develops character and resilience. Values also guide relationships. They influence how you treat others, how you respond to challenges, and the example you set. When you live by your principles, you attract people who respect and share similar ideals, creating deeper and more meaningful connections. Reflection is crucial in this practice. Periodically examine whether your actions match your values. Consider areas where compromise or convenience has caused you to stray, and adjust your behavior. This self-awareness allows for growth and ensures you remain aligned with your true self. Values also shape your response to adversity. Challenges, setbacks, and injustice are inevitable. When your actions are grounded in principles, you respond with calm, wisdom, and fairness rather than frustration, fear, or self-interest. This makes difficulties more manageable and reduces regret. Another benefit of living according to your values is clarity in priorities. Life is full of distractions, temptations, and competing demands. Values serve as a compass, helping you choose where to focus time, energy, and attention. This leads to a more intentional, purposeful life, rather than one driven by random impulses or external pressures. Small daily choices matter as much as big decisions. Being honest, keeping promises, showing kindness, practicing patience, and acting with fairness are all ways to live according to your values every day. Consistency in small actions strengthens your character and ensures that in critical moments, You are guided by principles rather than panic, anger, or desire for reward. Living by your values also reduces regret. When you act with awareness and purpose, you know that your decisions reflect who you are and what you believe in. This brings inner peace, even when outcomes are uncertain. Finally, living according to your values is a practice of freedom. When your actions are guided by internal principles rather than external approval or fear, you are no longer enslaved by others' opinions, societal pressures, or fleeting desires. You act with clarity, confidence, and calm, shaping a life that is consistent, meaningful, and strong. Appreciate the present moment. Life is made up of moments, yet most of us spend our time dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. By constantly looking backward or forward, we miss the experiences happening right now. The present moment is the only time we truly have. Everything else, the past and the future, exists only in our thoughts. Learning to fully appreciate the present allows us to experience life more deeply and with greater peace. Often, we take ordinary moments for granted. A warm morning, the taste of food, a conversation with a friend, or simply the ability to breathe and move are all gifts of the present. By noticing and valuing these moments, we train our mind to find contentment and satisfaction in life as it is, rather than as we wish it to be. Appreciation of the present does not mean ignoring responsibilities or goals. It means engaging with life fully while still planning wisely. You can work toward the future, while still recognizing the beauty and importance of today. When we live fully in the present, we are less distracted by regrets, anxiety, or fear. We notice details we might otherwise overlook and find meaning in simple experiences. This presence of mind strengthens relationships, work, and personal growth, because we give full attention to what we are doing, instead of being lost in thought or anticipation. One way to practice this habit is through mindfulness. Pay attention to your surroundings, your senses, and your actions. When you walk, notice the sensation of your feet on the ground. When you eat, taste and smell your food fully. When you speak with someone, listen with your full attention. These small acts of awareness ground you in the present. Appreciating the present also helps in facing difficulties. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will always arise. By focusing on what is happening now, rather than worrying excessively about what might come next or what has already happened, you conserve energy and respond more effectively. Even in pain or hardship, there are moments to notice the support of others, the strength you find within yourself, or small comforts that still exist. Gratitude naturally arises when we focus on the present. Each moment contains something to be valued, and recognizing this shifts our mindset from lack to abundance. This habit reduces envy, dissatisfaction, and restlessness, creating a calmer and more contented mind. Another aspect of appreciating the present is understanding impermanence. Life is constantly changing, and nothing lasts forever. By valuing each moment, we cultivate awareness of its fleeting nature, which encourages us to cherish experiences and people while they are here. Practically, this can be as simple as pausing occasionally during the day to notice the world around you, taking a few deep breaths, or reflecting on one thing you are grateful for at that moment. Over time, these small practices become a natural way of living. Appreciating the present also strengthens resilience. When your mind is grounded in the now, external events have less power to disturb your peace. You respond to life as it is, rather than reacting based on imagined scenarios or past grievances. This clarity enhances decision-making, relationships, and personal growth. Fully engaging with the present allows life to be experienced more richly. Ordinary moments gain significance, and the passage of time is noticed and valued rather than wasted in distraction or worry. By appreciating the present, we develop a mind that is calm, focused, and capable of finding contentment regardless of circumstances.